Coach, another tough non-conference schedule for you guys this season. How do you guys feel like that prepares you leading into the conference schedule?
Yeah, I continue to say I think we have one of the best conferences in Division III softball. So in order for us to be ready to go from the beginning of the conference season, I think we're going to have to play some good competition ahead of that. I think, we've consistently played a very tough schedule the past several years, and I think it's done a good job of preparing us.
What are some areas of growth for the team this year?
Yeah, we've lost a lot of key players the past couple of years. A lot of 3 and 4 year starters have graduated the past 3 seasons now. So we're going to be young in, I think, a lot of areas. Probably the biggest one right now will be our pitching staff. Ashley Nelson graduated last year, and she pitched a lot of innings for us the past several seasons. Luckily we have a couple of upperclassmen who have gotten a good amount of time as well, but we're going to need some of our younger pitchers to step up and take some innings this year as well.
That was kind of my question. You've graduated some people in some key spots, especially in your infield.
Yeah.
Who have you seen maybe step into those spots, or is that kind of still a competition underway?
Yeah, I think right now it's still a bit of a competition. I think we're probably gonna see some more players there early on until we can figure out the right combination. Addie Wells has been working at third base. She worked there behind Regan last year, and she's really come a long way. She's shown a lot of potential there. In the middle infield, we've got 4 people competing right now. Reagan Hassel is one of them. She played shortstop for us, I think, every game last year. Riley Metz is, she's a sophomore. We saw her in some pretty key spots last year, mostly in pinch hit opportunities, but we're really excited to see what she can do. Allie Haff is a junior there, and she's had a lot of good experience. And then Bella Mulder is a freshman. She's the youngest one, but she's done a lot of really great things at practice, especially offensively, so we're excited for her too. And then first base right now, we also graduated our first baseman last year, and we've got several people working there as well. So for us, that's really probably an offensive battle at this point.
With a really young team, how important have your senior or returning upperclassmen been for a leadership standpoint so far?
So important. When you lose such a big chunk of your team, when, they really had some key roles on and off the field. I think it's important for the upperclassmen to help the new team find its identity again. And I think that they've done a really good job with that. We have 3 seniors this year. One is a 5th year, Sydney Fellows. She's actually been in our leadership group every single year she's been here, so she takes a lot of pride in the importance of that role. Hannah Llewellyn and Riley Feely are the other 2, and they're also in our leadership group. And I think they do a really good job of balancing the fun and the seriousness that we're trying to get from our players every day, but they do a really good job of living into our core values, representing our program at a very high level, and trying to pull the younger ones up in that same way.
What excites you the most about this season?
That's a good question. I guess the thing we've been talking about is just a lot of new players on the field. I think we're gonna see a lot of growth. I think we're going to have a lot of opportunities. People are going to get a lot of different opportunities, and I think just seeing what they can do and how they can grow. And I think right now there's just a good energy, between top to bottom, young to our 5th year. There's just a lot of good energy, and I'm excited to see that continue through the season as more and more people get opportunities and show what they can do.
If memory serves, I think this might be one of your more earlier starts to the season this weekend. But what excites you about the WashU tournament, and then kind of tell us a little bit more about the NFCA Leadoff Classic and competing in that again this year.
Yeah, we're gonna need a small miracle and a shift in weather to actually play this weekend. But we've played at WashU for I don't know, as long as I can remember in my time here. And they always have a very good team. So that's always a good test pretty early in the season for us. They have a beautiful field too, and usually it's warmer in St. Louis, but right now they are having the same luck as we are with weather. So, but it's always fun. You know, that first time you get to play, like that's always exciting. It's like a Christmas morning type feeling. So if we get to play this weekend, we'll be excited to get out there for the first time this season. The Leadoff Classic has changed a little bit in its format. So this is, I think, the first time they've done back-to-back years. So we competed in the Leadoff Classic last year in an invite-only type situation. So some of the top teams in the country, and I know it was a really great experience last year. So you know, we're looking forward to that again this year. It is going to be a tough schedule for us. And you know, that's what we're looking forward to. So
The conference poll was released, and kind of a lot of teams within 1 or 2 points of each other. What kind of thoughts went into when you did your ballot, or what do you think that says about the ARC schedule?
yeah, I just think, I mean, if you look year to year, top to bottom, it's all pretty close. I think even last year there was a 1 game difference from the 3rd place team to the 6th place team, and every year it seems like the final results go down to the very last day of the season, and then it's usually some tiebreakers mixed in there as well. So I just think that speaks to the strength of our conference. And even it's funny to think, like, even some of the teams that are picked at the bottom just a couple years ago, they were the conference champions. So top to bottom, year to year, you expect to compete against some of the best teams in our conference, and that can be frustrating at times, but ultimately, it's exciting and makes for a lot of good competition.
I believe you are on the national committee as well. What have you learned, maybe more about softball or your professional life that you've enjoyed in that role?
It's a fun opportunity because I have been able to meet and interact with a lot of people who I probably wouldn't meet. It's a mix of coaches and administrators. And obviously the process has changed from last year to this year, but even just getting that knowledge of how the process works, like how the selections worked in the past, what goes into making the national tournament happen and be a good experience for those competing in it every single year. It's very time consuming, but it's been very enjoyable and a rewarding experience. So obviously with the NPI, it'll be a little bit different this year, and I'm not really sure what to expect. All I know at this point is what we've heard from the other committees. But I enjoy the people that I get on those calls with every week, and looking forward to seeing how the new system works and then hosting another successful national championship.
Thank you for your time.